I've long been warning you guys about the big incoming tsunami of defaults we're going to see. Delinquencies, bankruptcies. It's all going to start now. We're starting to see the beginnings of it, especially in the subprime market for auto loans, credit card loans, personal loans. So we'll take a look at that, see what's going on. We're also going to talk about some of the altcoins and what's going on with that. And then we're going to take a look at the overall markets. And in every video now, you're going to start to see more photo entries to the gold coin contest because there's so many entries coming in still, and I have to get all of these out before the deadline, which is in about a week. There'll be no more entries at the end of the month. That's the last entries we're taking. So if you want to get your entry into the gold coin contest, do it now. There's details at peterleeds.com/coin. Always remember that nothing we say here should be intended as personalized trading advice for you. You need to make your own decisions. You do your own due diligence. We are going to give you our 100% honest opinion, what we believe is going to happen, and we happen to be very educated, very good at this stuff. And always remember that I am wrong 100% of the time. It is so good to be back. I was on vacation and came back. We just had a power outage across the whole province here that actually got pretty serious. There was 9 deaths. 8 of the deaths were falling trees. The power's been out for days. The power's just coming back on, and here I am again, jumping in front of the camera. So what has happened up until this point? Dow Jones Industrial Average just had 8 losing weeks in a row. First time that's happened since 1923. I actually have all the numbers here this morning. And understand, my idea was that I was going to film this video on Friday once the market's closed or on the weekend, because then the numbers are moving all over the place. If you look at the numbers this morning and then you put in your video, they may be outdated by the time anybody hears them. But keep that in mind. So don't hold me to the fire about the numbers I'm going to give you, but here's what's going on. Dow Jones Industrial Average was at 36,952, dropped to 31,880. That's a loss of 14%. NASDAQ's down 28%, 16,212 to 11,535. Russell 2000 down about 27%. Standard & Poor's down about 17% for 479 to 396. That's what you're going to start seeing as the markets begin to get back to reality. And you're seeing a lot more about Jeremy Grantham lately. And you remember that video I did about the Jeremy Grantham? I did my take on what he was saying. You're hearing a lot more about him now. He's absolutely correct in what he's saying, in my opinion. We may have a lot more downside to go. I am in the Jeremy Grantham camp. He knows his stuff. And we're seeing the altcoins get washed out even more as I anticipated. And I want to say something about this, because a lot of people who invested in cryptocurrencies, they're just trying to get a leg up or trying to survive this clown show that the powers that be are putting us through. The deterioration of the money. You need to find some way to land on your feet, and this is one option that people took. And it was very polarizing. People would say cryptocurrencies are going to the moon. Other people would say they're going to zero. And it was a fight back and forth. And so now that some of these altcoins are dropping pretty significantly, a lot of people are glad about that. A lot of people are happy about that. That's the vibe I'm getting. And I'm telling you right now, I even said that altcoins are going to get washed out. I'm not happy about it as it happens. Just as we're going to talk about the defaults and the tsunami of bankruptcies, that's going to happen too. But I'm not cheering it. I'm not glad to be right. Being right about something is great, but not when the cost beneath the surface is so awful. Some people are just trying to find a way to feed their family. They think, okay, maybe I'll try. They're desperate even. They say, I'll try to buy into this altcoin and it'll go up in price. And then they're getting washed out pretty badly and they couldn't afford it. So if you are against cryptocurrencies or you expected them to do this, don't be cheering it. Don't be glad for it. But here's the biggest concern I have with cryptocurrencies. I think what happened is a lot of people said, well, cryptocurrencies are going to go up in price so much that they put all their eggs in one basket. And then they wait, and if that doesn't work out, they're sitting here back at ground zero, or step one, I should say. You can go into cryptocurrencies, but I would suggest also go into something else at the same time. Look at some other way. Invest in small stocks like we talk about at peterleeds.com. We talk about stocks that are trading for under $5 a share that are really good, high-quality companies. That's one way to do it. But if you're in the altcoins or you're into cryptocurrencies, don't make that your only source of possible riches. That's all I'm saying. Keep your eyes open to more opportunities, because besides cryptocurrencies, there's all sorts of opportunities all over the place right now. And things are starting to get pretty serious. You got to get ready now. You got to have a game plan now. It's not going to get better. It only gets worse in the next few months and years, maybe the next decade. And with every video, I'm going to show you more photos that are entered into the gold coin contest. You guys got about a week if you want to get your entries in. This is a pretty good prize. It's the best prize going on the internet for what you have to do and how many entries we get. The average entrant will enrich themselves by probably about $6 or $7 on average. Somebody's getting the gold coin. Somebody's getting the Peter Leeds Academy. And by the way, I forgot to mention one prize we have. I can't believe I forgot this. The Peter Leeds app. We will give that out as well. You may be saying, okay, Peter, enough with all the yap. Let's get into the delinquencies. Where are we starting to see them? Where it always begins in the subprime borrowers, and then it expands or spreads from there. This is how it starts. So we're seeing more delinquencies. And what a delinquency is, it means that you're behind on your payments for 60 days. So we're seeing more and more delinquencies. People are having a harder time paying their bills, not just because interest rates are going up, but because of inflation and everything's costing more. Gasoline, food, energy, everything. So if you're a subprime borrower, that means that you are less than immaculate credit. So sometimes what happens is that you have to pay a higher interest rate to get the loan in the first place or put up more collateral. But now we're seeing subprime borrowers starting to miss payments, going delinquent 60 days without paying a credit card, without paying on their personal loans, or even paying on their car payments. When it comes down to paying your car payment, you don't have food to eat, you don't have heat for your home, you don't pay the car payment. And that's what's happening. We're having a record number of delinquencies in auto loans, 8.8%. It's only going to get worse. And people think it's because interest rates increased. That's a big part of it. But I'm telling you, and this is what is the most maddening thing about my business, my career, or whatever you want to call it, is that this would have happened, I'm telling you, even if interest rates did not increase. The fact that they're increasing is going to make it worse, and the fact that they're going to increase even more is going to make it even worse. In February, car loans were 8.8% delinquencies behind on 60 days on their payments. This is a record. That's from CNBC. But check this out. In the 70s or 80s, my uncle walked away from his own house because it cost him more to make the payments than the value of the actual house. That's what you're seeing with cars now. And housing is a much, much, much bigger market than how many people are borrowing money to buy a car. But now it's happening just like with my uncle with his house. People's cars are depreciating more than they're worth. The payments are more than the car's worth. So if you're paying $500 a month for your car, you do the math, you realize that you're paying out even maybe twice what the car's worth if you were to buy it today. So a lot of people are just walking away. That's why they're going delinquent. They're like, I'm not going to pay this. I'm going to buy my food. So these cars have depreciated so much, most people are underwater on their car loans. They owe $30,000 on a car that's worth $10,000, $20,000. What's the motivation to pay it? And you're also going to want to watch the beat up car indicator. Just look around you. What happens is that when somebody gets a car door dented in, or they get a broken windshield or a broken side window, often they'll go and get it fixed, get it replaced. Now what you're going to start seeing, and it's just beginning now, you'll see a car drive by with a plastic over the window, or you'll see a dent or a big scrape down the side, and they don't pay the money to go get it fixed. If you got to choose between eating food or paying your rent or painting your car that got T-boned, people are putting their car repairs to the wayside. And you can watch around you when you drive to work, and it's starting now, but look at it now, how many beat up cars you see, and wait 3 months, wait 6 months. It's only going to get worse and worse. People are going to continually not fix their cars. And you can use that as an indicator to get a vibe about how good the economy is doing, how people are feeling about things. And a lot of this with the delinquencies, with the auto loans, as I said, and this will happen with mortgages next, But with auto loans, as the interest rates increase, that's making it harder to pay them, especially at a time where everything else is going up in price. But what happens after this? It spreads from subprime borrowers to borrowers. And then it spreads, as it will, to the real estate market. Houses will be harder to pay for. They'll come down in price. All of a sudden, a lot of people are going to be underwater and not want to pay the amount that they owe on the house because it's more than the value of the actual house itself. This has happened over and over again in history. It's going to happen this time as well. And what is this all leading into? The next recession. So we're tumbling into it. We're tumbling into a recession. Things are bad and they're falling apart. Markets are coming down. The real estate market's going to come down. The auto loan delinquencies are increasing. That's the case now. Before we're in recession. And we're going to be tumbling into that recession, and that's going to make things worse, of course. And I've got this awesome video I've been working on for a while now, and it's a little bit difficult to work on anything when the power's out. The way I do stuff, I need the power to be on. I'm checking information, looking up stuff. So it delayed me. I had a vacation, came back to 4 days of no power. I drove down to the next town about an hour away almost just to sit and get some lunch and charge my phone in the car. For the next video, you absolutely need to see it, especially if you're not retirement age. This is a ongoing retirement crisis that is got to be dealt with soon. And this video is telling you everything that's going on. And it's not made for people who are going to be retiring. It is, but it's also made for you to understand, even if you're not retiring, how important and how significant this issue is. It's going to touch everything. It's going to affect everything, not just pensioners. That's why you need to absolutely see this video and share it with your elderly parents, anybody you know that is close to or in retirement age. And a lot of it is telling you some things that you can do about it, because there is moves you need to be making right now to deal with it. So give me a couple of days with power on, and you guys are going to get the best retirement crisis video ever. And please always remember, Peter Leeds loves you. I do this for you, and I do this because of you. It's a great symbiotic relationship. You guys are awesome.